Good morning and welcome back to class. This morning, our lesson is about sampling methods. What are the different ways by which we could sample out of a population? And there are 6 different ways we could do this. One of them is by what we call the method of simple random sampling. The second one is called the stratified random sampling. Then we have number 3, cluster sampling. And then the fourth one is systematic sampling. The fifth one is convenience sampling. And then the very last one is what we call judgment sampling. So we will discuss about each of these sampling methods. And then we need to know when to use them. Okay. So the first one is the method of simple random sampling. That is when each set of observation from the population or any individual element of the population has equal chance of being selected out of the population. So a set of numbers or a set of elements or a single element has equal chance of being selected. Now this method is what is applied in lottery. Whether you talk about whether you can consider the Mega Million or the Powerball lottery, any set of numbers that is being drawn or any single number that is drawn has equal chance of being selected, just as those ones over there. So for those numbers that we have in the machine that forms the population, any combination that comes out as a result that is being drawn has equal chance of being selected, just as any other set of numbers. So that is why I always tell my students, if you have money and you think you want more, then keep what you have. Do not play lottery with it. Because the set of numbers that you're going to take for your lottery, all these other set of numbers have equal chance of being selected. So there is no priority. You don't have an advantage, or your set of numbers does not have an advantage as compared to the other set of numbers. In lottery, we normally say that the expected win is a loss because the odds of you winning a lottery, let's take the Powerball for example, the odds of you winning that lottery is 1 out of 175 million. So if you have money and you really think you need more, do not give what you have away. I'm not saying do not play lottery. It is okay to play lottery, but you can do it for fun. Do not do it with the intention that you're getting more money that night. It doesn't work like that. All right. So that is the method of simple random sampling. I would now like to talk about stratified random sampling. In this method of random sampling, the population is first divided into groups of elements, and that is what we call strata. Each strata in the population belongs to, or each element in the population belongs to one and only one stratum. Right, now, when you put this element in the stratum, then you use the very first method that we talk about, the method of simple random sampling on each stratum. So if you have, if you want to select a sample of 10, so divide this population into 10 strata, and then you use a method of simple random sampling on each single stratum and select one from each of them. You put the 10 that you selected together, and that forms your sample. The next method is what we call the cluster sampling. It is just like the method of method of stratified random sampling. There is just a little difference between the two of them. In cluster sampling, what happens over here is that you also first divide the population into separate groups called clusters. But the difference is that in this case, each cluster is supposed to be a representation, a small representation of the population. So if you have younger children and adolescents and adults, each strata is supposed to comprise of all these people. And all elements within the stratum, we also apply the method of simple random sampling on that and then put the results together, and that is what we call choosing or sampling by strata.